Welcome to this episode of decisionMAP.info. In this episode, we're going to continue looking at the Phoenix checklist. In the last episode, we covered out a bit about the history of the Phoenix checklist, its possible origins with the CIA or the Central Intelligence Agency. In this episode, though, we're going to get a little bit more hands-on with the Phoenix checklist and take a deeper look at it. So let's start out with it in a mind map form. For those that might not be familiar, a mind map basically breaks down sort of the hierarchical outline structure of things and sort of makes it into more of a logical outline. And that's basically what you see on the screen here. So we have the central concept, which is the Phoenix checklist. Then we have a branch off of it, which is basically the problem. And then the second branch is the plan. So as we spoke in the last episode, the idea behind the problem is to go through a series of questions. These questions are basically a sieve to help us understand what the real problem is we're attempting to solve and actually scope that problem also. One of the challenges that we spoke about the last time is, if you're a hammer, everything you look at is a nail. And this is a lot of times the situation in problem solving is a lot of times we'll look at a problem and we'll want to solve it in a certain way, or we'll want a certain solution. And that's really not the solution to the problem. This is where the Phoenix checklist really comes in, because it basically helps you restate that problem to the proper problem, and so you can properly plan a solution to that. So with the mind map here, one of the things that we've done is we've set this up, and you can get this mind map in a package, and we'll go over that from our website, decisionMAP.info. And so before we get there, let's take a look at a little bit of the concept. So the thing is we can come here, and I should mention too, what I'm using is actually FreeMind, which is a freeware version mind mapping program. Great program. You can get it for free. Runs on Windows, Mac, Linux. It's Java based, so you need to have Java installed to use it. I'll have links in the description below, so you can get it from there. And again, you get this source file, you load it in, and you're good to go. So basically what we wanted to do when we constructed this, because we actually use this quite a bit, is we wanted to create a framework, because this is that we can share. As Napoleon Bonaparte said, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and basically that's the situation we have with a mind map. Is the outcome of this is to create a picture that really explains it. So once this mind map is complete, you can export it to a PDF. You can share the mind map itself with your team. However, it has all the pieces so everybody in the team can see how things fit together, and that's the most critical piece here. And you can also use it in a problem-solving scenario where you have a team event going on, and basically what you're doing is brainstorming together. I highly suggest putting this up on a projector and working through it. So one of the first things you can do here is go to Edit or F2 and Edit Node, and then basically what I would suggest is changing the term Phoenix checklist, and we will say the problem. So basically this should be whatever your problem is, and so this is now our problem. And so with this, we now go up here to 1.1. Now notice we've given these a little bit of a hierarchical order of ones, and 1.1, 1.2 to kind of keep in order, because also in the package we also offer an outline version, we also offer a PowerPoint version, and so you can get all those on our website too, so you don't have to re-enter this and spend time creating your own, because this is just busy work. However, once we get up here to 1.1, as you can see here, it says inner response here. So we have, why is it necessary to solve the problem? So you could enter that statement here. So first of all, as you share this, why are we solving this problem? And then we go down to being, what are the benefits you receive by solving this problem? So we want to be very clear, obviously, what we're going to get for the effort we put into this. And then what are the unknowns? And you put that here. Now, also keep in mind as you do this, you can keep branching out from here. So you don't have to put one item. So what are the unknowns? You can make a whole list here, and you can have a whole branch form off of this, sort of, a MISI, mutually exclusive, continually exhaustive, and you just kind of keep carrying this out, to the point where, it's obviously reasonable. And again here, what don't you understand? Again, you can create a branch type structure carrying this out. What information do you have? Again, I think it becomes rather obvious as we go through this that you can see these various pieces. And then when we get down to some of the branching logic, is the information sufficient? Yes or no? So again, following these logical branches, you can fill this out, or again, if it's a no, you can track the branch back to understand, is it insufficient, is it redundant, contradictory, etc. Again, you sort of get the idea, I think, as I go through this. And should you draw a diagram of the problem? Yes. So you can even import graphics into this program, into the mind map. You can create a graphic in it sort of as a sub mind map too. So again, a lot of options with the mind map in the Phoenix checklist. I can't express the number of times I've used this. It's a very effective problem solving tool. And again, these are a bit color coded into the question types and then the yes no scenarios. Can you separate, for example, can you separate various parts of the problem? Yes. And if no, why not? And then again, I would suggest making a branching structure there to explain that. And again, from this branching structure, you can use different colors. If you notice over here to the far left, there's numerous icons. Again, become very expressive with the mind map. Again, it's designed to be a picture is worth 1,000 words. So, make it a good picture, because this is what you can share with your team, you can share with your management. And again, it provides a very strong form of assembling all these pieces into one view, if you will, or portal into what the problem is. Now, as you work through this and you get down to this whole thing, again, you might want to come back and restate your problem, because, maybe your problem isn't what it was before. Maybe you've redefined your problem. So again, I highly suggest starting out with what the problem is, and then working the problem down, and then coming back to it and saying, is this really my problem? Now, if it is, then obviously we go to the problem, or the plan side. So we've got this figured out, and the plan side works the same way. So again, it begins asking a series of questions. You notice that on the problem side, these are 1 dots, 2 dots on the plan side, so this all meshes together. And again, the same piece, you enter a response for each one of these questions, helping you rationalize your way through. Now, again, this will become very large at the end of the day, and so again, you can control the various branches as you see here that I'm doing. So you can focus on certain areas, you can expand certain areas, you can contract certain areas. So it basically gives the picture that you're looking for in this as you're going through. And then, your end product, by the time you get down here to 2.22, how will you know, when you're successful? I talked about a little bit this in the prior video. This is a very important piece. How do you know you've succeeded? Again, many people fail in the trap of recursive problem solving. I like to say a person's personal value proposition is proportional to the problems they create. Yeah, I know there's a lot of P's in there, but they're supposed to be, because people love to create problems to solve them. So it shows value. Hey boss, look what I found this problem and I solved it. In my career over 30 plus years, I've got to tell you, I have seen more people create more problems and spend more money. It's absolutely ridiculous. And as a senior manager myself, that's the one thing I'm always on the lookout for is people creating problems just to further their personal value proposition. Because, yes, there might be a problem, but is it really a problem? Is it worth really solving or just living with that problem? Your car might have a nick or a dent in it, and yes, you may not like that. It might not be the most attractive thing in the world, but the car gets you down the road, it takes you to work, etc. Is it really worth investing in that? In some cases, yes, some cases, no. However, the point is really understanding, is that nick or dent really the problem to what you're trying to achieve? And this is, I think, in our daily business, daily life in general, as well as our business life. Are we creating problems just to further our value proposition or to make ourselves feel needed? And that's a critical piece of what this helps do, is it helps distill some of those things out for the more complex problems. Now, in full disclosure, I mean, if it's a simple problem, I would not go through this big exercise. However, many times, especially in a corporate enterprise, you have very, very large, complex problems, and a framework of this nature is what's needed really to work these problems out. Now, some of these pieces may be redundant. You may view them as redundant. However, part of it is to, again, provide personal inflection points to see if you're lying to yourself. Again, we as human animals are really, really good at lying to ourselves. For example, I don't know how many folks I know have gone into a car dealership and over that car thinking, that's going to get me dates, that's going to get me a better job, that's going to give me, and it's not going to do any of those. However, in selling that car to themselves, they've created all these perceptions about that car. And this is, again, what the Phoenix checklist is meant to do, is bring us back to that point of understanding where the real problem is. What is the real problem, and defining that so we can get a real plan with a beginning and end points to do this. So anyways, hopefully this has been helpful. And the only other thing before closing, I do want to point out, in the package that we have on our website, which is like $5.99, crazily cheap, not only do you get the mind map in a number of different formats, you also get a blank PowerPoint version that you can apply your own corporate templates to, and you can obviously, as you see here, go through and do the same thing if you're not comfortable with a mind map. Also, with inside this, you also get it in PDF, you get it in Excel, and you get it in Word format. You get it in Visio format. So again, you get multiple formats for the $5.99 on the website. So crazy cheap. You can't enter or create all these templates for that amount. So anyways, hopefully we've helped you a little bit sharing the Phoenix checklist. And again, if you have more questions about the Phoenix checklist, on our site for $1.99, we have the complete book on the Phoenix checklist. It's also syndicated on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble Nook. I would highly suggest reading it. The biggest thing here, folks, we're not out to make a killing off this, but the biggest thing is we kind of want to spread the word on this, because I've used this in my professional life many, many times. This is a very, very powerful tool, and I can't really recommend it enough. So again, you can even Google the Phoenix checklist. There's stuff out on the internet if you want to go out and construct this thing yourself. Again, our whole thing here is we wanted to kind of put something a little bit more structured together in this framework. Most of what's out on the internet is a little bit loose, so we wanted to bring it together. And one of the things that again, getting this bit for the product is going to help us continue developing the Phoenix checklist, the model, and the framework more and more. So we'll be doing an episode on a context bias in the Phoenix checklist in an upcoming episode. So we'll take a look at how that plays in. So again, many, many pieces here. So hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click like below. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It really helps us produce these videos and carry this forward. So again, I'd like to thank you in advance for doing that. And if this stuff is of interest to you, please click subscribe, because again, we'll be covering out more and more of this stuff as we go on. And I also encourage you to visit our website, www.decisionMAP.info. Thank you very much.